I'm going to run through ours because I know we're running out of time. Ours was on the 50th anniversary of desegregation in Second Life. Laura Jordan was the principal investigator, but as most of you know, she's moved on to bigger and better things. So she started her first day of med school yesterday. Missy and I were the co-investigators on this project, and we're kind of wrapping things up, carrying the torch. It started with the virtual, U.S. Libraries Virtual Worlds group. Laura had started. We did a lot of experimentation with the design of a library building within Second Life, promoting library resources, services. We hosted lectures, and so we wanted to take it to the next level, reaching a broader audience, incorporating library collections, virtual learning experience. We got a lot of inspiration from other Second Life projects, NASA, a lot of simulation, interactive things with UC Davis. When we came up with the idea, we had a meeting within Second Life, and a law professor met with us also with our virtual worlds group, and she suggested, hey, you know, 50th anniversary was just here, why don't we look at something like that? And I thought, hey, it's a great idea, we've got a lot of resources in the digital collection. So the idea was born. We've got that great Samuel Proctor oral history program. We were able to take a lot of things from that. To make the interactive part, we decided, why don't we make a civil rights era public transit bus ride, where a student could get on the bus and experience maybe an interactive way using some of our collections. There we go. Okay. Our collaboration, we did a lot of cross-campus collaboration. Julie Henderson and Paul Fishwick. Paul's over in computer science engineering. They agreed to help us. They're big programmer, I don't know, the big founders of Second Life, the Second China experience over there. I think they've been doing that for 2 years. So they were really, really helpful to us because they knew about the design. They were able to help us find a programmer who's very experienced in this. We also reached out to the history department and, of course, the Institute of Black Culture, the IBC. We pulled resources from our digital collections. UF College of Law and the Legal Center had quite a lot of resources we were able to use. So we narrowed it down to 3 people to feature on this bus ride who were key figures in Gainesville civil rights: Virgil Hawkins, Thelma Jordan, and Buddy Davis. So we pulled that from some of the things. Thelma Jordan, we actually have her oral history transcripts, and Buddy Davis as well. Keeping the project organized, that activity, the graph that we had to do with the timeline and stuff was invaluable. It really helped keep things on track. We used PDWiki, which is free, and that's where we dumped all of our brainstorms, all of the documents related to. Our programmer had access to this, so we put things up and he would log in and find information. We used our marker boards and we took pictures of everything so we wouldn't forget. So, you know, we did storyboarding to do the interaction on the bus. Our timeline for the exhibit, just like brainstorm ideas. We took pictures of some of the displays that we were trying to work out how maybe we wanted to see it, so we had visuals that we can move around and play with, like Dollhouse with. Scripting for our voiceover volunteers, we used volunteers from the library, people who are going to do the Virgil Hawkins, Thelma, so we got people to do the voices for us. Surprises we ran into, okay, it was a technology-driven project, so of course, we tried to start it with OpenSim, which is free. Our programmer and Paul Fishwick were very familiar with this project, or with this open source software. Unfortunately, it's programmer-driven, and there were some issues with the system that didn't work well, like clothing. We had problems. You know, what are you going to do? And they had problems, well, serious. They had problems with hair, and so we ended up having to spend a little extra money to host it in Second Life. So it was a little bit more money. I think we had to spend maybe $200 or $300 more, but it's worth it because it played nice with the software and everything. So the tech that did work very well, we used open source Audacity for recording and editing. Sound effects, we used the free sound project with the sound effects in the Creative Commons. what's next for us, more collaboration and testing. We're going to get ready to start working with some of our volunteer history classes. We've got an IRB questionnaire. We're going to measure empathy, their knowledge of library resources and technology. The other things we have left to do are finishing up the last of the tech issues. Another surprise was problems getting the project migrated from our programmer server to our servers. We didn't foresee going to virtual servers, so we had to wait for our IT guys to finish moving the library servers to CNS, so we're kind of waiting on that. We have to tweak the exhibit area a little bit more to add some more resources that we found as we went along. Other thing we need to do is archive this in the institutional repository. And things we do differently, accountability, triple checking numbers. Everyone's human. I think we had some different numbers that came through over time. As far as OPS, Tom brought that up too. So important. Our programmer, in the beginning, he didn't really need to do much because we were doing a lot of free student work. We had some helpers from the computer science department. And near the end of the project, as our grant money was starting to run out for the OPS work he was doing, he was pulling all-nighters. I think his wife was ready to kill us. So over time, just we want to be accountable for that as well. So, questions? Was that 4 minutes?
It was great.